Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer game Mordian Glory video, and today guys I want to take you through my army that I'll be taking to the Captain's Clash tournament this weekend. Now I ummed and ahed over what army to take. I considered everything from Regular Guard, Krieg, Steel Legion, hell I even considered Black Templars at one point. But I decided there was only one army that I should really take to my first event of 9th edition, and my first event in probably almost 2 years thanks to lockdown and whatnot. And it had to be the Pure Infantry Mordian 50th Rifles. And that's what we're going to be taking. For better or for worse, for hell or high water, or come hell or high water I should say, we're going to take the Pure Infantry Guard out for a spin. Now, I'm not going to say this is the most competitive army. How would it do against Drakari? Well, God only knows. How's it going to do against Admech? God only knows. God Emperor only knows. But this is probably the best Pure Infantry army that I can put together at the moment, based on what I've got and everything. It has played a game. It was against the New Sisters. The New Sisters won't be at this event, because of your codex has to have been FAQ'd, and they haven't yet. And unfortunately it did lose, but I think I was being a bit stupid and whatnot, but it was a good game, good to get a game under the belt, lessons learned and everything, so hopefully I'll be even more keen-edged for this event. So let's take you through the list, and we'll start off over here, and we've got 3 blocks of conscripts. Now, each one of these conscript blocks has got about 30 in. One of them's got 26 guys in it. And these guys are going to be used for a big old screener Rooney. Like, doing what conscripts do. Dying and doing basically no damage, but dying for the Emperor. So they're going to be an effective screen. So, I've got a good, 90 wound, or, to be precise, 86 wound screen. It's alright. Death ponies would probably be better. But, these guys, they do alright for your pure infantry guys. We're going with a themed list. Hopefully we'll get the coolest army award. Who knows? So that's what we've taken there. And then moving on to the next part of the line infantry, we've got 12 squads of bozos. 12 squads of infantry guard. Each sergeant has got a las pistol and chainsword. I finally painted up enough las pistol and chainsword guys to do this. I have plenty of sergeants, but the majority of them are with fluffy upgrades like power swords and stuff. So now we've finally got rid of all those fluff things, and we're here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I've also got 12 plasma guns sprinkled through those 12 squads. So lots and lots of line infantry. The total number of bodies and the total number is 260 on the nose. But the total number of what I would call line infantry, so those guys that aren't really expected to kill much, but hold objectives and do a bit of damage here and there, is 206 to be precise. So you've got the 86 conscripts and the 120 regular guardsmen. Now the regular guardsmen are kind of halfway between that, because the conscripts are there literally to die and hold objectives. The regular guardsmen are also there to about 90% die and hold for the objectives. But 10% of each squad's got a cheeky plasma gun in there. So that's a lot of special weapons just in that block alone. But then we're going to move on to the specialists. Now, controversial thing here, guys. I've taken no heavy weapons. I have not taken much in the way of long-range firepower at all. And the reason for that, and I will get into the specials in a moment, but the reason for that is simply, well, I've literally run an army like this where every single squad's got a heavy weapon. I've run 18 infantry squads with heavy weapon teams. And I just don't, with the way 9th edition terrain works, and the way Blizzard Steel 4 plus guard works, I just do not seem to be able to do any damage turn 1. How many battle reports have you guys seen me do this army where my turn 1 damage is nothing, my turn 2 damage and stuff is really, really powerful? So I thought, strip all those heavy weapons out, and instead, let's go for more special weapons. So what we have over here is 3 command squads, 2 with double melter, quad melter, and 1 with quad plasma. We've then got 3 special weapon squads, again 2 with triple melter and 1 with triple plasma. And then we've got some Scions. So originally I went for Scion command squads, but you know what? I said, you know what, let's go for some basic Scions. They won't be getting regiment traits because they'll be in a regular guard detachment, but still, these Scions will be able to help me, and they'll be dropping down with double melter and a plasma pistol, and then double plasma and a plasma pistol in each one of those squads. Now, just before I forget, I know some of you will be saying, Morning Glory, taking unbased models to a tournament? No, I am not. Don't worry, I'm recording this video on the day of release, which is Thursday. Tournament's not until Saturday, so I've got time this evening, and I've got time all of tomorrow to get those guys based up and ready. They will be a different colour scheme though, because they are Scions, and it will represent them, you know, being a different regiment than and not getting a regiment trait. But they will be based, and I will be have converted those bolt pistols to plasma pistols and so on and so forth. So, special weapons, lots of them. In fact, the total number of special weapons, including the ones on the squads and the plasma pistols on the Scion sergeants, total number is 42 special weapons, all melter and all plasma. Now, some of these guys, some games, will be starting in reserve and deep striking in and whatnot, but some of them will start on the board, but they'll be tucked away around bits of line of sight blocking terrain and whatnot, and depending if the enemy's got any like artillery that can ignore line of sight blocking terrain. So we'll start off, so there will be a decent amount of firepower, but all of these infantry squads are going to start from the board, so we're going to start with at least 12. Probably, if in doubt, I'll be starting off with, you know, some of the plasma, like Plasma Command Squad and Plasma Special Weapons Squad. They'll be starting on as well. So we're looking at, you know, a really strong start of special weapons on the board, but then a really, really strong reserve. Now, you will notice that I have gone for a lot of melter in these squads. Now, my regiment trait that I'm running here is Wilderness Survivors and Disciplined Shooters, because I like that combination. I think it's a relatively good combination. Agile Fighters is definitely what I'm thinking about for future events, but for today we're just trying out the classic Wilderness Survivors, Disciplined Shooters. Now, I've taken Melter, even though they won't benefit from my regiment trait, because I've run armies where I've taken pure plasma, and then I've come across armies that reduce my damage by 1, and then plasmas feel underwhelming all of a sudden. So I've decided, you know what, between all the plasma on the Scions, I've got 1 command squad of plasma, 1 special weapons squad with plasma, and then 12 squads with plasma. I've got my plasma covered there, and then I've got a few units of precision melter, you know, a couple of command squads, a couple of special weapons squads, and a Scion squad with melter. And the plan is that I will use my precision melter to delete targets which need deleting. You know, and the command squads can come in from the flank with the company commander, and so can special weapon squads. And I don't need to, but I've got the majority of my weapons being plasma, but I do have a good percentage of melter in there. Maybe that'll be a mistake, but we will have to find out. So far, in the one game that I played, the melter has performed okay. It did pretty well against some of the harder sister targets. The one thing I would say is, though, is obviously typically special weapon squad came in and did just missed all 3 melter shots, but that's going to happen every game. But those small special weapons squads, a little bit more tactical thinking about that. In fact, we'll get into the secondaries for this army now. In fact, before we get into secondaries, let's get into the final part of the list, which is going to be the characters. So I have 2 Tempesta Primes. One will have a command rod and a chainsword, and one will just have a hotshot las pistol and a chainsword. We also have Adria Medellin, who is a special Blackstone Fortress character. Literally took her because she's a Primaire Psyker. That's 5 points cheaper, and that's perfect because I needed to save those 5 points. Scions will drop in with Scion squads and give orders, and this cheeky special character is going to be there. This cheeky Psyker is going to be there to get me Warp Ritual as a secondary, if that's a legitimate possibility, because I'm almost struggling to pick a 3rd secondary with my guard army. Well, hopefully not anymore. 3 platoon commanders, las pistol and chainsword. 3 company commanders, all with chainsword. 2 with these 2 on the side have got las pistol, and he actually has got the bolter because I had 3 points left over and literally cannot buy anything, or couldn't think of anything. Let me know if you can think of anything that I can buy that's worth a damn for 3 points in this guard army. So I thought, you know, I'd bang a bolter on my warlord. So he is going to be my warlord, and he is going to have the Master of Command trait, And this guy with the big eagle on his head is going to be my relic bearer, and he's going to have Kurov's Aquila. So that eagle is going to be like shouting down extra command points to him, which I thought was, you know, I've never actually thought of using this model of a Kurov's Aquila model before, but it's quite cool. So now that you know what's everywhere, I have alluded to some secondaries. I'm going to go through what secondaries I plan with this list. So I plan on taking Retrieve Octarius data or Raise the Banners, depending on if it's looking like I'm going to be able to get into my enemy's deployment zone. If it looks like I can get into the enemy deployment zones, then it's going to be Retrieve Octarius data. If it's looking like it's going to be a big old grinder Rooney World War I style battle, we're going to go for them banners being raised. For another, I'm also going to go for engage on all fronts because I can slingshot squads all over the place with move. And for my third secondary, I'll either go for warp ritual or I'll take one of the mission specifics because, for example, one of the mission specifics is direct assault, which is really good. Just basically control that middle objective, keep getting 3 points. I'm hoping to be able to control many objectives with this list. And another one of them is data retrieval, where if you sort of hold loads of objectives, then you can potentially score lots of victory points. And so again, there, I'm hoping that's what this list is going to be doing. So an engagement on fronts is fairly obvious and whatnot. So the third secondary is always a tricky one for the guard. I've kind of got warp ritual as a maybe in the bank, but yeah, not sure. Hopefully we'll be able to take some of those mission secondaries to balance things out, because guard really don't have a good third secondary to take. Of course, if my opponent turns up with like a really mech list or knights or anything like that, then bring it down, Titan Slayer, stuff like that will definitely be on the cards, and there's loads of different ones you can take that way. Now this list obviously is designed to hold lots of primary and to try and deny my opponent some primary points as well by slingshotting squads of guard onto objectives. So that's it. That's really the game plan. In terms of getting Retrieve Octarius data, I sort of had a little epiphany when it came to retrieve, and I realised I could do it with some Barebone Science Squad, but a Barebone Science Squad costs 45 points, but a Special Weapons Squad with 3 good weapons in it only costs 49 points. And that Special Weapons Squad, potentially, it's got, obviously hit on 4s, but potentially is a lot more of a threat than a single squad of Scions with, 1 plasma pistol in it. So I thought, these guys can come in for 4 points more. They can wait till turn 3. They can come into the opponent's table court. They can take the back edge, and that will, and then they can retrieve data. And if they die, then I've only spent 4 points more. It's not a big deal. But if they don't die, then the enemy potentially has got 3 melters or 3 plasmas running around in their backfield. That's not good for them. So anyway, let me know what you think of this list. Of course, it is a pure infantry list. Of course, I've gone for a thematic list. There is a coolest army award going. I'm hoping to get it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I'm hoping. That's what I'm aiming for. And look, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. And hopefully everyone will hear this last bit because it's very important. I may be going to a tournament, but I've seen some of the lists that are there already. We're seeing Death Guard. We're seeing Sisters. We're seeing Dark Eldar. It's a pretty cutthroat event. So I've decided, you know what? I mean, I'd already kind of decided this. But you know what? I'm going to put together a strong guard list, but I'm going to go for pure infantry. Whether it's good or bad, I'm going to go for pure infantry. I'm going to go for the Mordian 50 rifles, and I'm going to go and have a good time. And if I go 0 wins, 3 losses, if that's what happens, that's fine. I prepared for that mentally. I'm in that space. I'm prepared for it. Of course, I'm going to play my little bloody heart out, and I'm going to try and win some games. But I'm just happy to be playing events in the UK again. I'm going to be going for the socials. It's going to be not my first tournament, but I'm going with a friend, and it'll be his first tournament. And so it's all about him, really. It's not about me. And I'm just going to go have a good time, and I'll do a video next week, and we'll do a little review of how it went, and just reviewing if it was a good event or not. So if it is good, I'm definitely going back, because the tournament organizer seems to be hosting one of these little one day 16-man events every month, and I can definitely find myself going to a regular event. It's only an hour's drive away, so definitely find myself going to a regular event every month. That'd be really, really cool. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the list. Of course, it's not the most competitive, but we're giving it a fucking go, lad. So let's see what happens. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and of course, see you guys next time.